Hello there guys, what is going on? SonOfChelsea back here again for another edition of Let's Talk Chelsea. Breaking news, massive news, the biggest news Chelsea have had this summer. Romelu Lukaku, a deal has been agreed around 95 million, 97 million in pounds, but over, of course, 100 million in euros to bring Lukaku back to Stamford Bridge. Back in 2014, obviously, he left permanently to Everton. We got close to signing him in 2017 as Diego Costa's replacement. It's taken 4 years to finally replace Diego Costa, and the move that probably should have happened 4 years ago is happening right now. But trust me, even though it's been delayed, even though all summer we've been speaking about Erling Haaland as well, it's amazing that Chelsea have been able to get this deal over the line. Of course, it hasn't been officially announced by the club, but all the right sources are saying it. Fabrizio Romano giving it the here we go. Simon Johnson to David Ornstein. Everyone you can think of who you'd want to be speaking about Lukaku to Chelsea, as we have in recent days, is saying now that Chelsea have agreed a fee. A club record-breaking fee for Lukaku as expected, but it will come in under 100 million. But massive news. Because this is the big deal. This is the one that Chelsea, I think, needed to get done this summer. We've spoken about midfield, which I think has been a key area. Jules Koundé, I wouldn't be too stunned if in the coming weeks Koundé is secured as well, because that's another big target for Chelsea this summer as well. But fixing Chelsea's finishing issues has been a big problem for a number of years. As I've said, I think, Tammy Abraham, Olivier Giroud, two forwards that I can think of that have come closest to Diego's sort of finishing, but we've needed a ruthless killer up top. And you're not only getting just a brilliant goal scorer in Lukaku, and that's what he is. It's undeniable Lukaku scores goals, over 100 goals in his time in the Premier League previously with West Brom, Everton and Man United. But he's gone to Serie A and he's taken his game up to another level under Antonio Conte. Incredible. I think over 60 goals, 64, 65 goals in 95 appearances for Inter Milan, of course, winning the league there last season. And there was kind of this narrative thing that Lukaku to come back to the Premier League, it would only be for Chelsea. And I'm a big film fan. I'm a big fan of narrative and sentiment in football. And for me, Lukaku, if you've been watching this channel for months, Lukaku has always been my preferred choice because I think he's absolutely the elite finisher, ready-made finisher Chelsea need. But just that narrative sense as well. I mean, go back and watch that video where he was at Stamford Bridge as a young forward in 2011 and the emotion he had looking at Stamford Bridge and wanting to play at Stamford Bridge. And it's almost like a cinematic tale, his career, not being able to break in at Chelsea, having to go elsewhere and go to many places scoring goals, but finally getting to have the shirt, the number 9, or at least the main forward at Chelsea that he's always wanted, his icon Didier Drogba. He's going to get an opportunity now when Chelsea need it. And I think this changes the game potentially for Chelsea this season. I really think it does with Lukaku, because we've just won a Champions League, but the finishing for Chelsea was so poor last season. I think we were the only Premier League side since Thomas Tuchel arrived to underperform our XG as much. And you don't really need advanced data to tell you that. I think just by looking at Chelsea last season and over recent seasons, our finishing in the final third has been really poor. We bought Timo Werner £50 million last summer, and he didn't improve our finishing that drastically when we hoped he would. And this for me is the kind of bulky, kind of dominant, ruthless striker Chelsea need. There's a profile of striker that has worked for Chelsea over the years. Diego Costa, Didier Drogba, to a certain extent Olivier Giroud, and Lukaku fits into that mould. But do not dismiss Lukaku because he is that target man and you can play direct to him. His technique and his all-round game is simply exemplary at this point. Chelsea's, I think, attack can be as deadly in transition with Lukaku, but he's also, of course, got that physical side to the game, which gives you confidence that he's going to be very, very good in the Premier League and hopefully will create a lot of chances for other attackers around him. He can be a facilitator to give space to Chelsea's attackers around him. I think Mason Mount, Kai Havertz, Timo Werner, Christian Pulisic, Hakim Ziyech, Callum Hudson-Odoi. Reece James too, I think, will become one of Chelsea's biggest creators if given a chance. All of his crosses that have been wasted in recent seasons, I think finally maybe put away by Lukaku. As I say, it's game changing, and I hope that Lukaku can do what he's been doing, which is score goals, which is what he's done everywhere he's gone in his career, not only in club level but international level as well. Belgium didn't have the best Euros, but he was still scoring goals for them. And just watching Lukaku, I don't quite know the doubts over Lukaku, given where he is in his career now, being the finished forward. Everywhere he's gone and scored goals. And just in comparison to what Chelsea have had up top, he is a major, major upgrade that gives Chelsea, I think, the potential under Thomas Tuchel to actually challenge for a Premier League title. And we needed to respond to what Man City are doing and still doing potentially, of course. They've just signed Jack Grealish for 100 million. They may be signing Harry Kane as well. So Chelsea, if we want to get anywhere close to Man City this year, if we want to get out of the slog for qualifying for the Champions League and that being our only sort of primary goal in the Premier League, you need someone who's going to get upwards of 20 goals and probably beyond that. And I think that's what Lukaku absolutely gives to Chelsea. Every single metric, every single number, you break it down, Lukaku, for me, is one of the top 3 forwards in world football. I think currently, Lewandowski, just pure number 9s. I think Lewandowski, Haaland, Lukaku. I personally love watching Lukaku play. So, I'm going to put him a little bit higher in my own rank. But that is what Chelsea are getting. So if you're disappointed that Chelsea are not getting Erling Haaland, and this still probably means that it's not going to happen at all now, trust me, this is not a sideways step. This is not a downgrade. This is an upgrade for Chelsea. It really is. And I think someone who's going to come in, have the confidence, have the belief of Thomas Tuchel. There's been many reports about Tuchel speaking to Lukaku, the likes of Matt Law and Simon Johnson talking about this, convincing Lukaku to join his project at Stamford Bridge. And I think within Lukaku, you've got an amazing character, someone who I think drags people along with him. And I think that that's the ruthless finisher Chelsea need, and that presence that's just been lacking, unfortunately. I think Chelsea, of course, did extraordinarily well to win the Champions League with no kind of dominant forward up there, but we need one, especially in domestic football. But you think as well in the Champions League too, what Lukaku can do within our side. I just think the positives outweigh the negatives. All the stuff in recent days about resale value. If Lukaku's goals propel us to a Premier League title, I don't think anyone will be complaining about his resale value. I truly do believe that. So I think that Lukaku absolutely is what we need. I think it's a massive, massive moment in the transfer window. I hope now, because he is going to be our record deal for any player, Lukaku, I hope he can really succeed at Chelsea, come in, take that pressure and really propel Chelsea forward and finally give us that finishing we require. And I think we'll take the weight off and the pressure off someone like Timo Werner too. I think Werner can improve playing alongside Lukaku. I think so many of our players too. So I think that all round, this is the perfect forward. I wrote an extensive piece earlier in the week about Lukaku and why I think he's the perfect forward. I'll link in the description box below. Please go and read that for extensive thoughts. I go into some of his numbers. I think how he can work off our current squad too. And it's going to be so exciting now. Seeing it confirmed by the club. It hasn't been confirmed by the club yet. Obviously, all the strong reports claiming that we've, of course, agreed a fee. Going to have to wait for Chelsea to officially announce Lukaku as our player. But big news. I want to hear your thoughts in the comments below. And excited for the season now. We've had some preseason games. Of course, Villarreal in the Super Cup. Narratively, once again, isn't it typical that Lukaku's first game might just be the Super Cup after missing that penalty against Bayern Munich under Jose Mourinho in 2013, which was his last kick for Chelsea, basically, before he was sent on loan to Everton and never to be seen again until the summer of 2021. So Lukaku is on his way back to Stamford Bridge. As the tweet said, come on Chelsea, let's do this one more time. Lukaku is back. Let me know your thoughts. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and I'll see you again.